and flip the thing, the plastic piece around, your name's on the other side.
Good afternoon. It is 4:30 p.m. on Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. We will call the City Council meeting of the City of New Ulm to order. Item number 1 is a public meeting notice to conduct the meeting by interactive technology.
I'll offer the motion.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to receive an order filed public notice notifying that due to out-of-town travel, Councilmember Les Schultz will be remotely attending the New Ulm City Council meeting scheduled for June 21st, 2022 via Zoom in accordance with Minnesota State Statutes 13D.02. Any additional discussion? Director Jorgensen, please call the roll.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes.
Counselor Warmka?
Yes.
And President Becker.
Yes, that motion is carried. Item number 2, consent agenda. Councilors, what are your wishes?
I'll offer a motion to approve.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any additional discussion? Director Jorgensen, please call the roll.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes.
Counselor Warmka?
Yes.
And President Becker.
Yes, that motion is carried. Moving on to item number 3, item number 3.1, transfer on sale intoxicating and Sunday liquor licenses.
Make the motion to approve the transfer of the on sale intoxicating and Sunday liquor license from the Kaiserhof Inc. to Kaiserhof Restaurant and Lounge Inc. DBA Kaiserhof at 221 North Minnesota Street, including Sidewalk Cafe for the period beginning July 1st, 2022 and ending June 30th, 2023, subject to compliance with all city and state requirements.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Director Jorgensen, please call the roll.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes.
Counselor Warmka?
Yes.
And President Becker.
Yes, that motion is carried. Item number 4.1, summary of business conducted during board and commission meetings.
I go first? Okay, due to a lack of agenda items, the Park and Rec did not meet. Heritage Preservation met last night. They did approve 2 signs downtown and 1 bigger item at 227 North Minnesota, which I call the Kekridge Building, the rear half of the building. Earlier this year, they had okayed tearing down, removing the building in the alley, which is almost falling down. The individual learned from his architects, engineers, the other remaining part of the building is also going to get demoed, which is in ill repair. We did get to see the preliminary plans. It will be a brick building, almost identical what is there, and that will come back to the HPC for design review, and building is raised and the plans are ready. So more items happening downtown. That's it.
Thank you, Councilor Christian. Any other updates?
From the zoning, we're going to have a work session in July to be working on going through the comp plan.
And yeah, mine was due to no agenda. All my meetings have been canceled the last month too.
Okay, thank you. All right, we will receive these reports filed. Item number 5.1, annual financial report for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2021.
Counselors, at the meeting preceding this, the ABDO presented the financial results for the year ended 2021. All we need is for you to receive those reports.
Thank you.
Receive and order filed.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Director Jorgensen, please call the roll.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes.
Counselor Warmka?
Yes.
And President Becker.
Yes, that motion is carried. Item number 6.1 under old business, second consideration of ordinance number 22-054, fifth series, chapter 13, stormwater management and standards of the city code.
Madam President, City Council members, this is the second consideration for the updated stormwater ordinance. There has been no changes since the first consideration, which was on June 7th.
Thank you, Mr. Winchell.
That being said, I'll offer motion to approve conduct a second consideration of adopting ordinance number 22-054, fifth series, amending Chapter 13 Stormwater Management and Standards of the City Code of the City of New Ulm to the meeting regularly requirements of the city's MS4 permit.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Director Jorgensen, please call the roll.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes.
Counselor Warmka?
Yes.
And President Becker.
Yes, that motion is carried. Item number 7.1, 2022 mileage reimbursement rate, mid-year increase.
Counselors, last year the IRS released a statement saying that they were increasing the mileage rate from, I think it was 57.5 to 62.5 cents for the remainder of the year. I'm sure due to the gas prices. So this is just to bring us back in line with what the IRS is doing for the year.
And this would go into effect on July 1st.
It only makes sense. Everything's going up right now, so we might as well fall in compliance. So we'll make a motion to receive notice that the city and PUC's mileage reimbursement rate is increasing to 62.5 cents per mile effective July 1st, 2022, concurrent with mileage rates set by the U.S. IRS.
Second.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Director Jorgensen, please call the roll.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes.
Counselor Warmka?
Yes.
And President Becker.
Yes, that motion is carried. Item number 7.2, first consideration of ordinance number 22-055, fifth series, amending Chapter 5 liquor licensing and regulation.
Counselors, the governor signed some new liquor laws into place a while ago. This one brings the growler sales up to date in our ordinance, so this would allow, or brings shells into the limits so that they would possibly be able to sell growlers going forward. We are still looking into how the off-sale will work with their licenses, but this still brings the ordinance up to date. There will be another ordinance coming at a future meeting, bringing into effect all of the other laws that were also signed by the governor related to the liquor changes.
No, you see under point C, not for consumption in public would be a label. What do they mean by that? I'm just gonna pick up a growler and go hide in my garage, or?
No, it's more like you can't take your growler down to German Park or to drink it in the streets. They seal it up and at the brewery.
All right.
So it's to be consumed at home. But I know Shell's has been, and the workers at Shell's have been fighting strong for this for a long time, and they finally got it through. So I will make the motion make a motion to conduct the first consideration of ordinance number 22-055, fifth series, amending section 5 of the city code and adopting the new section 5.34 off-sale malt liquor license.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Director Jorgensen, please call the roll.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes.
Counselor Warmka?
Yes.
And President Becker.
Yes, that motion is carried. Item number 7.3, Brown County Ag Society requests standby fire protection and rescue services.
I'll motion to approve the request from the Brown County Ag Society for our standby fire protection and rescue services from the New Ulm Fire Department during 2 demolition derbies at the Brown County Free Fair on Thursday, August 11th, 2022, and Saturday, August 13th, 2022.
I'll second.
We do have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? My only question is this something that does need to come to us every year, or is this a decision that the chief can make on his own? Is there a reason that this comes ahead of council for this and for all the other events?
I think it's just us using our fire department for, the same as like the fireworks that go on up at Herman.
It was
Us
several.
giving the permission for the.
It's giving
yeah.
permission. Several years ago, the attorney actually gave us the reason why. I cannot remember.
Yeah.
But we do have to do it.
Sure. City Attorney Scott, do you have any kind of input on that? Is this something that normally should come to the council, or is this something that the chief can make decisions on their own?
Council President, members of the council, I have not looked at that issue specifically.
Okay.
This does seem fairly routine to me, but if you'd like an opinion, I can certainly follow up after the meeting if this is something that could be addressed by staff.
I think once you get time, it'd be nice to get your opinion on that, because we have a number of those issues that come in front of us every year that is real similar. Be interesting to see what your take is on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nothing urgent, nothing you need to follow up on immediately,
not at all.
but just planting a seed for something, because if we can empower the chief to do his job, I would like to do that more. We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Director Jorgensen, please call the roll.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes,
Counselor Warmka?
Yes.
And President Becker?
Yes, that motion is carried. Item number 7.4, adopt a revision to section 4.3 of the city/PUC Personnel Policy Manual. Shauna?
All right, thanks, President Becker and counselors. What this change would do would compensate all non-union, non-exempt employees at an overtime rate of over 40, when they work 40 hours in a week instead of 8 hours in a regular workday is what I'm asking for this change to be. This policy change will also allow City Hall employees the opportunity to flex their hours on Fridays. So what we're looking at doing is having part of the employees work 7 to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and then 7 to 11 on Fridays, because Friday afternoons are normally the slowest days. We'll ensure that we have coverage in administration, engineering, and the finance department, so customer service shouldn't be an issue. It'll also potentially reduce overtime specifically for engineering and the finance department, so that employees would flex their hours on another day instead of paying out overtime. We're going to do this on a trial basis to see how it goes, so from July 5th through September 30th. And then in October, we'll bring back a report to council to let you know if there's any issues or if this could be a potential permanent change, and then potentially maybe opening City Hall at 7 for citizens also, depending upon how it goes.
Thank you,
Madam
Ms. Warmka.
President.
Yes.
I worked in this scenario before I retired, and it works incredibly well. And it's a major perk for staff. And the department head's got to manage it, so that they do have staff there when they need to be there. So sometimes not everybody gets what they want, but when you can come in early and leave early on a Friday, or maybe it's a Monday, or because of something else going on. I can tell you that it's a major perk, and we can bring it back in 3 months, but I'll be shocked if there's any negative parts to it. The only time that there would be is if somebody really wants always to have a certain day off. I never usually allowed that. If they always want to work 4 10s and take a Friday off, then that puts a lot of work on those folks, or other folks that are in the building that particular day. So I didn't always allow that. They had to move it sometimes Fridays, sometimes Mondays, so that it was more even with other folks. But I strongly support it. I think it's going to be a big win-win.
Well, and I think that's the definition of flex time, is that you're being flexible, that it's not any kind of a standard schedule where you're going to have every Wednesday off just because. I think another factor to this was that we have a lot of retirements coming up, and that trying to attract some young talent, this could be.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be huge. I mean, work-life balance, flexibility, that's what employees are looking for. I mean, the last 90 days, we've hired 10 full-time people. So, and with, new employees, they start out accruing just 80 hours of vacation. So I think this would be huge, especially with how recruiting is going, and people are looking for that flexibility.
Another thing that I really saw with the scenario was people that came into work early or stayed late, and they didn't have everybody else around them, got a lot of extra work done, because they weren't getting bothered every 5 minutes. And so that also was a big win for people that when they came in a half an hour early or an hour early, they got a lot of work done before everybody rolled into the office. So another big win, I think, for the city, that we might see more productivity as well.
I do have one question. I mean, to me, this is a short time frame. I do like the trial basis. That's
Sure.
maybe the only reason I'm going to support it. Do we need a little more than that? I mean,
3 months?
I go by like in the wintertime, the street department. There's been times, everybody's gone already on Friday because we're all at our 40 hours, 2 major snowstorms.
Yeah, and this will only affect non-union. So the unions, this will not affect the
Okay.
union employees. So our AFSME street employees and Park and Rec, our IBEW
Okay.
employees, our LELS employees, this will not apply to
trying to-
them. It's just it's just non-union, non-exempt employees. They already, the street department works 7:30 to 3:30
Right.
year round. So it will not affect them. There's also a union contract in place that they get paid overtime after 8 hours in a day. So that contract is in place, so we can't really flex time, and that's why we're asking to change that, but just for non-union folks.
Thank you. I just wanted the general public to hear that.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Shauna, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying this is just for Fridays only, or is this something?
Yeah, I
or
mean,
how are-
Fridays are the slowest days. We may allow, we're gonna see how it goes over the next 3 months. We may allow some more flexibility if people have appointments and things like that. What I don't wanna allow is, shut off days like in finance are very busy. But it could be a potential, to allow a little bit more flexibility on other days. It's just Friday afternoons are the slowest days for most departments.
So Shauna, do you envision that, like the department head's gonna notify HR that we're gonna have so many employees gone that day, or
I
just
don't-
they're gonna manage it themselves?
Yeah, I think, do you want to just touch on that, Nicole?
We just manage it ourselves and, amongst the employees for the most part, I mean, they even do that with their vacations already. They
Right.
talk to each other to make sure we have the coverage and.
Yeah.
and not everybody's always gone at the same time, or not everybody gets the same kind of, day off
And
before a
not
holiday
everyone
or
has to
whatever.
flex at the same time too. There's some employees that will just work 8 to 4:30 as normal because they have other obligations, picking kids up from school, dropping kids off. So it just gives people an option if they do have the time to do something like this.
So could we take that Friday language out of there? I just think you'll have a lot more flexibility. I mean, I trust our department heads that they know who they can let work Friday. Maybe Monday's a better day for people to take off.
Yeah,
Or do you
we
want
could.
to
I
just
mean,
leave
we're
it?
I mean, I don't have any issues with that.
we're not changing the hours that the buildings are open, so.
No.
It's just.
Right, exactly. You're just letting your department head determine,
What works
approve
best.
the work days for staff that want that flexibility.
Yeah, I don't have any issues, and I will be following up with the department heads, especially at our meetings every 2 weeks to make sure there's nothing that comes up, but, I mean, I don't really foresee any issues.
So then I'm going to go ahead, and since I like this and I've used it and it's been very successful, I'm going to go ahead and offer the motion to approve the revision of section 4.3 of this city PUC personnel policy manual effective June 29, 2022, with the allowance for department head to determine appropriate days for the flex time.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion?
Is that clear enough, Shauna?
It is.
Okay.
Director Jorgensen, please call the roll.
Counselor Mack,
Yes.
Counselor Christian,
Yes.
Counselor Schultz,
Yes.
Counselor Warmka,
Yes.
and President Becker.
Yes, that motion is carried. With no additional business, this meeting is adjourned. We will move into a work session in just a few minutes.